opportunity of speaking here on this motion this evening. The private member's motion perfectly illustrates Sinn Féin's ability to successfully speak out of both sides of their mouth and simultaneously say nothing of any substance in pursuit of naked political gain. While attempting to champion on the issue of state assets in the Republic, it would be remiss of me not to highlight the inertia, the hypocrisy of Sinn Féin with regard to the policies in Northern Ireland of outsourcing, privatisation of water, and other. Sorry, you're not going to intimidate me here, lads. In Northern Ireland, Sinn Féin like to claim they're being forced. Sinn Féin are forced to implement cuts by Westminster. In the 2011-2015 Sinn Féin budget, spending for social welfare in Northern Ireland involved significant cuts. Cuts, they say, that were imposed on them by an external agency in Westminster. Gerry Adams, speaking at the Sinn Féin Ardèche in Belfast, recently said, "In the North, British government policy and its continuing control of fiscal matters affects the tackle of the economic crisis, and the tackle to make it a result is more difficult." I find it curious, Ceann Comhairle, that Sinn Féin is willing to accept British austerity in Northern Ireland and no adjustments or austerity in the Republic of Ireland. The proposed partial sale of the ESB is not a privatisation, merely the sale of a minority stake that will benefit the workers and their ownership. The sale of this stake will provide a critically important funding mechanism needed by this government for the New Era project. It is anticipated that the monies raised from the partial sale of the ESB stake will fund new nationally owned water services and an opportunity to invest in new publicly owned broadband services in this country. The programme for government, which sets out a comprehensive plan to help bring our people back to work and to rectify the state finances that were recovered by this government as a consequence of the mismanagement of the last. It's a document that provides for investment in our national infrastructure, for reform the way we operate as a government and as a country. By 2014, Ireland needs to have reached a debt-GDP ratio of 3%, a policy target agreed by Sinn Féin. This government continues to plan to pay its teachers, its nurses, social welfare payments. The question is that how are Sinn Féin going to address this plan to provide critically important services in this country and renege on a sovereign agreement? A sovereign agreement like the Good Friday Agreement. That's what we're being asked to do, is renege on an agreement. That's what you're asking to do, and Sinn Féin wants us to renege on our commitments. Have Sinn Féin explored the consequences of not honouring this agreement? Do they know the ramifications for social welfare, for the salaries, for investing in jobs, for investing in people? This government is carefully navigating a recovery for our people. Yesterday, can I conclude, Ceann Comhairle? Yesterday, Caoimhín Ó Caoláin described this piece of legislation as the worst, I quote, "the worst kind of short-sighted policy that will come back to haunt our society, our economy in years to come." Well, if anybody should know about such quotations, Deputy Ó Caoláin in October 2008 in this House said in his support for the blanket guarantee, he said, "Sinn Féin members will support the Fianna Fáil minister in the passage of the legislation." The legislation which is the nexus to the problem that we're in here to.